this is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge!
What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to part 3 of the Dragon Ball Q&A Christmas special. As the holiday festivities continue, we continue our Q&A special for the holiday season with part 3 of today's video. So if you guys have any questions that you would like to be featured on a video, then make sure you guys do one of two things, if not both. Post your comments and questions down in the comment section below of this video, or follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/UnrealEntGaming, and tweet me your questions if you guys would love to see your questions be featured on a future video. Of course, for all intents and purposes, I want to wish you guys a very happy holiday season. Now, with all that being said, let's move on to the first question of the day, which comes from Andrew and asking, if Dragon Ball Super comes back, what if it was possible that someone hires Hit to assassinate Frieza after the Dragon Ball Super movie? Would this be a great idea to remove Goku and Vegeta from the picture and have other characters shine, being that both of these two guys love to kill? Thoughts? I love this idea. I love this idea so much because we finally get to take a break from Goku and Vegeta having to train, having to fight the strongest warriors, and we get to see them do their own thing off screen while other characters get to shine. And what better way to set up Frieza versus Hit than have someone assassinate Hit? But then again, I think you're going to have to introduce a much more compelling story in introducing Hit having to be hired to assassinate Frieza than just having someone come about and saying, well, I want this guy taken out for X reasons. I think that maybe perhaps Hit would be hired because they noticed, or someone noticed, that Frieza is kind of interfering outside of Universe 7's jurisdiction and trying to buy and sell planets, recruit people for his army, and I think it would be a brilliant idea in seeing Frieza fight Hit. Now again, I know a lot of people might say, well, Frieza at this point would be stronger, but then again, people always disregard and they seem to forget Hit's killing abilities. Hit has abilities that Frieza can't even dream of having, so I think that a concept like Frieza versus Hit would go so far and beyond that I think that it would fit the mold in telling a good story, because you don't have Goku, Gohan, 17, Vegeta, Beerus, Whis, you don't have any of them involved, but rather one character from Universe 7 and one character from Universe 6. And what a great way of introducing both of them, because we never saw them fight in the Tournament of Power in both the anime and the manga, so what better crossover than to have Frieza encounter Hit, and Hit having to show up and saying, well, I was hired to assassinate you, and that's what I'm going to do, kind of threatening Frieza. And Frieza, we know that he doesn't do well or take things well when it comes to his life being threatened, and maybe at first he might mock Hit and saying, oh, well, you're greatly underestimating my influence. I think that from there, Hit would realize that, okay, this guy may not be taking me serious, but allow me to show him just exactly who I am and just how powerful I could be when I put this bastard down. So I think that Golden Frieza versus Hit would be brilliant, but then again, we have to look at the overall direction in where Dragon Ball Super is trying to go in. So 2019 holds endless possibilities, and so does 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and so on. So we can't really predict the future in saying, well, okay, this is bound to happen at this point, or that's bound to happen at that point. We can only go off the assumption and saying, okay, that would be a great mold to fit in a story, because it's not just including Goku and Vegeta, it's including secondary characters that the fandom loves. A lot of people love Frieza, a lot of people love Hit. So I think that one of the reasons, if they were to do this, could be to where Frieza is trying to buy and sell planets, he's trying to do things outside of Universe 7's jurisdiction to where Beerus can't help him, Goku can't really help him. He's doing business outside of Universe 7 to where it's interfering with Universe 6's business. So what better way to have Hit encounter Frieza in remembering him from the tournament and saying, well, let me tell you something, your time is up. You're not going to be buying planets, you're not going to be selling planets, you're not going to be killing or recruiting for your army, your time is up. And Frieza having to take a very hostile approach and having to fire back against them, it would be a really good concept. So I think that it could fit, so as long as you're able to write in a good narrative. So anyways, Mr. Andrew, thank you so much for your question, bro, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which comes from Connor and asking, do you think it's possible for there to be an existing form far beyond Ultra Instinct? An example would be an angelic power or something only a being of vast potential and skill can possess. I'm not sold on the idea that true Ultra Instinct is the final level for a mortal, including gods, so where do you think the ceiling is, if there is one? Thanks for being an engaging and down-to-earth YouTuber. Thanks, bro. Well, I mean, I think that there is something beyond Ultra Instinct. I don't think that Ultra Instinct is the be-all, end-all, of course. Now, we have to take into perspective the power of the Grand Priest, the power of the angels, the power of the destroyers, the power of the mortals, and of course, obviously, the highest power of them all, Toriyama and Zeno. I don't think that anyone is ever going to reach Zeno-like status, ever. I'm calling that right now. Dragon Ball can continue 5, 10, 20 years down the line. I don't ever see Goku or Vegeta reaching the Omni King in terms of power. However, I think that it's likely for them to one day be equal to Whis or equal to an angel, or maybe even surpassing them, because as powerful as Ultra Instinct is, I don't see it being the be-all, end-all, because I think that with Dragon Ball, there's always more room for them to introduce more forms, more concepts. Am I a fan of multi-forms and there having to be a transformation after a transformation? No. I think that at some point, somebody should cap out at a certain level and remain that way. For example, if Super Saiyan Blue Evolution theoretically is the final form that Vegeta could get, ever, theoretically speaking, of course, then Super Saiyan Blue Evolution should be the final status for Vegeta. Let's say, for example, if Gohan can only go as far as reaching his ultimate form, then that should be the be-all, end-all for Gohan. I don't think that we should be giving characters Super Saiyan 5, Super Saiyan 7, Super Saiyan 12. Like, that's just egregious to me. I think that it's something that is kind of oversaturated, and I think that, yes, even though I think that Goku and Vegeta will discover something more down the line, it's inevitable because it's Dragon Ball. That's what it's built its brand off of. It went from martial arts to fighting aliens to fighting gods, now achieving godlike power. I can see Vegeta and maybe Goku at some point rivaling Whis when it comes to power, because these guys have been constantly training, they've been constantly pushing each other, so that's been the narrative. However, in terms of Goku and Vegeta, I can only see those two, you know, surpassing the status of going beyond Ultra Instinct, because, and a lot of people might be asking, well, what about Vegeta, this, that, and the third? I think that Vegeta has been proven before to always catch up to Goku, if not surpass him at some point before Goku takes the lead, so it doesn't matter if Goku's ahead. I think that eventually Vegeta would catch up, and I think that eventually Vegeta could discover a similar power to Goku, as we saw with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. However, when it comes to Ultra Instinct, it's really hard to say, because any mortal can achieve Ultra Instinct. It's not a Saiyan-based power, so maybe if they wanted to, they could incorporate the concept of Super Saiyan Blue with Ultra Instinct, because so far Ultra Instinct, from what it looked like, it only looks like you take it upon your base form. It's nothing that even goes far as beyond as, you know, having to go break beyond your base. I think that, for example, they could have upgraded versions to Ultra Instinct. Perhaps if Goku were to transform, we can have Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct, or Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, with the introduction of the Berserker form and the Legendary form and everything with Broly, I mean, the possibilities are definitely endless. But in terms of angelic power, I'm sorry, but unless Goku and Vegeta have been training for years and years and years and years with Whis, and only Whis, for Whis to be the one that says, okay, you guys have finally caught up to me in power, then I don't see Goku and Vegeta ever reaching that kind of level, because for them to reach that kind of status, they're going to have to endure like the harshest training, because the only person I can see them giving those two the hardest possible training for them to surpass or be equal to them is Whis. And for that, I don't see them surpassing angels, not yet, but I think at some point it's bound to happen. So either way, Mr. Connor, thank you so much for your question, bro, and I hope you have a fantastic holiday season, homie. And now moving on to the next question, which comes from Hayden and asking, if you could choose to have 3 fights be canon in Dragon Ball Super, which would they be and why? Choose carefully. Ultra Instinct Goku vs Beerus, Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta vs Beerus, Jiren vs Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Cumber vs Jiren, Ultimate Gohan vs Kale, Whis vs Ultra Instinct Goku, 2, Golden Frieza versus Rose Goku Black, Hit versus Goku Black. Happy holidays, Alex. Well, if you're going to be asking me this, I want to know from you guys, if you had to pick 3 fights of the following, which would you choose? This is hard. I think if I had to start it off, I would say Ultra Instinct Goku vs Beerus. I think that this fight is inevitable. I think that this would be a noteworthy fight. I think that Goku and Beerus are both due for a rematch, and what a way to settle the score than having the strongest version of Goku fight a very powerful, unrestrained Beerus. And I think that with those two having to fight, it would kind of clear up a lot of misconceptions behind both of their powers, and finally we get to see what Goku would do if he were to fight a destroyer at full power. And I think a lot of people want to see that fight. I did a video a couple of months ago talking about this. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, just search up my name and type in Ultra Instinct Goku vs Beerus, UnrealEntGaming, and myself and Emish basically talked about this. But for me, I would go with that one. That one's very important because we never saw those two touch gloves afterwards, and it sucks because there's so much potential there that you can do so much with that in the future. You can add in a deeper story. You can talk about the concept of a god compared to Ultra Instinct, and that would be a really cool fight, in my opinion at least. Now, I think another fight that I would love to see would probably be Jiren versus Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and this is why I say that, is because Vegeta, we know when he fought Zamasu that it was kind of like a balance. You had, you know, a very powerful character versus someone that can't die. So every time Vegeta tried to attack Zamasu and put him down, it's like it failed. But here we have arguably the strongest mortal outside of Broly fighting Vegeta. That would be really fun to watch. Jiren at full power versus Vegeta, I think at that point it would be a battle of just the brutes. It would be a battle of power. It would be a battle of superiority. I think that Vegeta versus Jiren is a money match. I think that fight alone would be very, very impressive to watch in terms of what Vegeta can do, what Jiren can do, and I think that by the end we would have ourselves a winner. But if we can give Vegeta a 1-hour timer against Jiren, then I'm telling you all right now, this would be one of the most barbaric matches ever, especially if we're counting the fusion of Goku and Vegeta after the Tournament of Power, and assumingly enough, if Jiren has been training or have gotten stronger, then we have 2 strong versions of each character having to collide. So Ultra Instinct Goku versus Beerus, Jiren versus Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and I think the last fight I would really like to see would probably be Cumber versus Jiren, just because over the last few months, Cumber has impressed the entire fandom so much, having a Golden Ozaru form, having multiple Super Saiyan levels. This dude was a beast, and we saw how he fought, you know, against Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Vegeta with complete ease, and I would love to see what would happen if Cumber fought Jiren, just the way we saw it in Dragon Ball Heroes. And I think Cumber versus Jiren having to have a death fight would be not only entertaining, but both of them are very powerful, and I think that Cumber would have the edge over Jiren. But I think once Jiren goes full power and comes after Cumber's gonna have to think of something to pull through, because if not, then he's gonna be in trouble. But aside from that, I think another fight that I would really like to see would be Golden Frieza versus Rose Goku Black, because Rose Goku Black and Frieza, I think, would have a long history, because Frieza would look at Black and saying it's Goku the monkey, and you know how much he hates Goku. It would really be a driving force for Frieza to come after Black, and I think Black would recognize Frieza, and I think Black would recognize his power, and they would also have a very barbaric fight. But if I had to choose, it would be UI Goku versus Beerus, it would be Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta versus Jiren, and it would be Jiren versus Cumber as my 3 fights. But if you guys had to choose 3 fights from this list, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much, Hayden, for your question, and I hope you have a fantastic day, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Oran, and asking, if there was no interrupted 1v1 fight between Goku and Jiren, who would win? Jiren was incredibly tired in the end and thus kept getting jumped, so he was at a disadvantage. But let's say they both fought one-on-one, who takes the cake? This also includes Mastered Ultra Instinct and full-powered Jiren. I think, honestly, minus Ultra Instinct, Jiren wins. There's no question about that, because we saw Jiren take on Goku effortlessly, beat him down effortlessly, tank right through Super Saiyans 1 and 2, Super Saiyan God and Blue, Kaioken, even Omen tanked right through him. So if it's not Mastered Ultra Instinct, I think Jiren wins. However, even with Mastered UI, it's kind of hard to say because at the end of the series, we saw where a tired full power Jiren was able to knock around Goku a bit before Goku beat him down. That's pretty scary. That's incredibly scary to see how Jiren, after being so tired and depleted of energy and just exhausted, he was still able to toss Goku around at the highest level of his form. So with that being said, yes, he was jumped. He was jumped by 17, by Frieza, by Vegeta, by everybody, and they gave Jiren everything they got, and Jiren still took them all on and beat them all. Effortlessly, mind you, and I think that once Jiren fought Omen Goku, once he fought against Vegeta Evolution, he didn't really have a problem in fighting them. So I think if Jiren was at his fullest, at max power, not being tired, still had his pride intact, still had this mentality of solitude is strength intact, then I don't know, I think Jiren could beat Goku, because let's not kind of, you know, dance away from this. Jiren literally was able to go toe-to-toe against Mastered UI Goku, and he was able to push him back a little bit before Goku kind of was enraged by Jiren's actions of trying to destroy his friends, which led to Goku beating him. But I think it's very hard. If it's not Mastered UI, Goku loses. You can't at me on this one, because we saw, based on irrefutable factual evidence, that Jiren was able to go toe-to-toe with Goku at any given point, effortlessly, not even, you know, not even trying to go at full strength until he was forced to, and that's pretty scary. So if he was able to go as far as to fight Omen pre-having to use full power, then at full power, not having to be tired, there is a strong chance that Jiren wins. However, I think with Mastered UI intact, I think Goku wins just because of the aura around Mastered UI, the fact that it can't be touched, the fact that Goku seems to be growing when in this form and state of power, so I think that Goku could win. But if we're counting a full power Jiren that's not tired, it's going to be hard to say. I'm leaning more towards Goku on this one with Mastered UI, but it's not by a huge margin. I think that it's by, you know, a couple of hairs, because there is a possibility that Jiren might catch up and Jiren might beat him. So it's a pretty interesting question, and I would love to get your thoughts in the comment section below. But either way, thank you so much for the question, my friend, and I hope you have a fantastic day, bro. And now moving on to the next question, which comes from Ellis Thompson, and asking, happy holidays to you all. Love your channels. My favorite is this one and Unreal Vlogs. Thanks, man. But I have to be the first person to ask, what if Gogeta fought Merge Zamasu instead of Vegeta? I'm not sure if you had done this already. I'm a new sub, so curious as to what you think. Cheers from Ireland. Thank you so much, man. Cheers from the States. I wanted to say I've covered this before. If you guys have not checked out the Gogeta versus Merge Zamasu fight on my channel, you can go on ahead and look it up. UnrealEntGaming, Gogeta versus Merge Zamasu. I think the end result would be obvious. I think that a lot of people are looking into Gogeta a bit too much. Do I think that Gogeta's timer would be a factor in this? Yes, because we know that Vegeto's timer ran out because he was so damn strong that it burned right through the Potara fusion quicker than anticipated, which the original time was supposed to be an hour. So let's say, give or take, if Gogeta has an hour, I would say that would probably be cut by half. So maybe, I'm guessing I'll just highball it to 30 minutes. If we had a 30-minute Gogeta versus a Merge Zamasu, it would be a good fight. It would be a very good fight, because I think Gogeta would probably do more as an end result of having more time by unleashing more attacks, more energy blasts, but I don't think that Gogeta could get the job done in destroying Merge Zamasu. Now let's say, hypothetically speaking here, of course, if Gogeta is able to somehow one-shot and destroy Merge Zamasu's body by using the Soul Punisher or the Stardust Breaker, and it completely disintegrates Zamasu's body, fine. And then we have Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta versus Astro Zamasu, and that in and of itself is way different than how we saw Merge Zamasu in the flesh. Astro Zamasu was affecting not just the universe, but the entire timeline as well. He was going into the past, he was assumingly going into the future, like his essence, his spirit was universal, multiversal at that. He was transcending space and time, and he needed to be erased at the source. So do I think personally that Gogeta possesses the quality and the power to destroy Merge Zamasu's body? Yes, I do. just like how I think Vegeta also possessed the necessary power to do so, but for plot purposes they gave it to Trunks, so whatever. But I think Gogeta would be ruthless. I mean, we would possibly see the Big Bang Kamehameha, the Stardust Breaker, and we would be revisiting the serious Gogeta that we saw in the Fusion Reborn film, which was one of my favorite fusions of all time, seeing that serious Gogeta. But just like I said in the video, it's hard to say, because if Gogeta takes the fight lightly and he begins to toy around and mess around, then he's going to lose. But if he takes the fight absolutely serious from the start, then there's a huge chance in him destroying Merge Zamasu's body, and then we have to deal with Astro Zamasu. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because it's a very interesting question nonetheless. But either way, my friend, I do want to say thank you so much for asking your question, and I hope you have a fantastic day. And once again, everybody, I want to say thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Dragon Ball Q&A Christmas Special Part 3. If you guys are new to this channel, then don't forget to punch that subscribe button, but more importantly, turning on all notifications. That way you guys can never miss a single upload. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, slap a big fat like down below. Tune back in for Part 4 of the Dragon Ball Q&A Christmas Special. It's been an unreal week, all puns intended, because it's been a wacky, it's been a stressful yet very compelling few weeks, I would have to say, especially with, you know, the holidays coming around and whatnot. So I wanted to sit back and enjoy this with you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys want to cop some cool merch, everything's going to be located in the description box, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune back in for more. Follow me at Twitter at UnrealEntGaming, Instagram.com at UnrealDBZ, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys, not only for Part 4 of the next episode, but in the comments as well. Take it easy, everybody. Q! You guys know what's next. My legendary outro, bitch.